Hello, everyone. Well, if you're not already aware, a new idle game released last night, and that is Ragnarok Idle Adventure. Now, for those of you who are familiar with the Ragnarok IP, the first thing that probably goes through your mind will be, oh my, another Ragnarok game, who would have guessed it? But because the game is in the idle genre, I did want to check it out and just see if it was something that had potential to be a really good game. So last night at the game's release, I streamed the game for a couple hours and really dug into it to see what it has on offer. And I just wanted to summarize in this video my thoughts on the game, some positives, some negatives, and just sort of finish up with will I be playing the game myself and so on. So let's start with the positives. So first off, this is a Ragnarok game. This is part of the Ragnarok IP, and this is a very big IP with a long history. And it is also a very popular IP, so as a result, it is almost guaranteed that there will be a lot of people playing this game, regardless of how good or bad or mediocre it may or may not be. This game has a very wide-reaching audience, the IP at least, and I think that will definitely factor into this game's long-term survivability. Number two, although it's not playing right now, the background music, the BGM of this game was actually really good. I have to say that at a certain point we actually muted the sound effects in the stream and put the BGM on full volume and just vibed out. So BGM in the game, phenomenal, gets high grades, can't complain. Another positive is that you're not restricted to partying with other players in order to progress and experience content like Go-Go Muffin, for example. In Go-Go Muffin, a lot of your daily content, Dragon, Rifts, your Trials, your Echoes of War, this is all multiplayer content. And if you can't put a party together, you're not going to have a fun time experiencing that content. Whereas Ragnarok, this is a mostly solo experience. You have a party, but that party is actually made up of NPC characters that you yourself control. These are not other players in your party. So for those who are looking for a more solo experience or a overall experience that's more in their control and not at the whims of other players potentially griefing your experience, then this would definitely have that benefit. Now, again, on the art style, this is a very nostalgic Ragnarok feeling art style to the game. It is definitely appealing. I mean, I know some might say, oh, it's not very high quality, whatever, but I disagree. I think it is successful in what it's aiming to be, which is that nostalgic, classic Ragnarok style art. And it does its job well. I think it's okay. It's maybe not the most amazing art I've ever seen in an idle game, but I'm not going to dock it points for that. I think it aspires to what it achieves what it aspires to be, is what I'm trying to say. And finally, the last positive that I would like to mention is for those who are PvP junkies, Idle Adventure does have PvP. It has PvP and guild PvP as well. So that's something other big idle games like Go-Go Muffin doesn't have, and Ragnarok certainly does. So for some, that's a big turnoff. For others, it's a reason to play. Now, with those positives out of the way, let's start looking at the negatives. Starting with the first, which is a big one for me, and that is the auto progression, the auto challenging does not let you interact with the game while it's running. So you set auto progression and your characters will auto fight the bosses, it'll auto fight the stages, but let's wait for this boss to be defeated here so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Alright. If I interact with the screen in any way after the fight is over, you will see auto battle has been exited. So you can either allow the game to progress itself or you can interact with the UI and everything else. You can't do both at the same time, which to me was a bit of a deal breaker. Like, how, like, you want me to just let the game run itself on auto, but if I try to do anything, like click on a button on the side or something, you're going to tell me, oh my god, I'm being forced into a tutorial here. Let me just get out of here quickly. Yes. Pets, got it. Great. But my point is that was a real like jarring experience. Like, to have a autoplay that doesn't let you interact with the game while it's running is just a bad design decision in my opinion, and I don't like that at all. The second, and this was probably the biggest negative for me, the game makes you feel like your decisions don't matter. Like there's no strategy involved in your choices, and it's like basically like I can show you. Like look here, boom, one tap craft, one tap unequip, one tap remove, one tap craft, one tap insert, boom, one tap craft. Okay, undeploy, upgrade, one tap. Like I don't even know what I'm doing or why. I just see my numbers going up, and that experience translates to you basically feeling like you're sitting on a conveyor belt. You're sitting on a conveyor belt game experience, clicking buttons, making number go bigger, clearing more stages. And I don't really feel like there was any strategic value in any decision I was making beyond click the button, number go up, clear more stages. And that's just really not an experience that I enjoy personally. I would like to have a little more strategy in my decisions and actually feel like I'm making choices and not just being, pushed along a linear progression path that ultimately it just ends up in numbers going up. So that was a pretty big negative for me, if I'm being honest. Now, the next one is something I think will hit a lot of players already by the time they've made it this far in the video, and that is the UI is quite poorly designed and very cluttered. Like right away you can see this is an old school UI with just absolute, like how much of the game screen are we actually seeing here? Like it's almost like 60% of the game is UI, and then you have this little window of action in the middle. I mean, that is absurd how much UI there is. And I don't like that. I like a more clean UI, and also it's just badly designed. Like look at this main town. Like sometimes you click on stuff and you're like, okay, great, but then you didn't notice, oh, there's buttons here. Oh my God, look at all these other summons that exist. I didn't know that was there. And there's times where the game has said, oh, go click on this, and I can't find it. And it takes me 5 minutes to find it because of just how cluttered the UI is. So definitely UI design, a negative for me. Following on for that is the game does a poor job explaining new items and content to you, and it basically just constantly throws things at you without really telling you what to do about it. So like I just progressed, and all of a sudden I found my bag full of all this stuff, and I didn't know what any of it did. And the game didn't tell me what any of it did. So I had to go one by one and click, okay, this chest, which chest, what's a which chest? Oh, I guess I can put it here. All right, I got some rewards. What are the rewards? Speed up crystals. What do I even do with these? Tickets, what are these for? Carnival gifts? I've not been told what these do. And it's just basically an experience of, here's a whole bunch of stuff, and then not really any follow-up on what I'm supposed to do with that stuff. So that was another negative experience. Maybe if you're a long-term Ragnarok player, this is all going to come naturally. But to me, a new player who's not played a lot of Ragnarok, I just found myself not really being clear on what goes where and why and how. It just was poorly explained to the player. Now, another negative, and this will be the biggest one for a lot of people, and that is the game is exceptionally pay to win. And if I'm saying that, if I'm the one saying that, you should know that it is extremely pay to win. And when you click on the rune commerce and you start looking at the packs and you see here, okay, daily packs, 5 daily purchases, $100, $200, 250, 275. All of a sudden you're like $275. You're just on dailies. What about weeklies? Okay, weeklies. We've got 250, 500, 575, 600. Okay, so we've got 275 for dailies times 7 is almost $2,000, plus another 750, so 2,750 on weeklies. Then monthlies is 500, 750, 880, 950. Like, okay, 950 a monthly. So all of a sudden it's like, are we up to like over $10,000 to buy these packs? Do you see my point? Like it's my math's not checking out, but you get my point. This is a crazy amount of packs, and the value of everything here is insane. And this is the type of game where if you're someone who buys all of these packs versus someone who hasn't, you're going to absolutely crush them. They won't even be able to stand in the same room as you, let alone be able to come close to your power. Like, this is a really pay-to-win game, and here's the ultimate nail in the coffin for those who know what this is. Boom, there's a VIP system in the game. And for many people, they'll open the game, see a VIP system, close the game, and uninstall it again. And frankly, even speaking from the perspective of a big whale player, I don't disagree with you. I find that this game is especially predatory in how it approaches spending and what it's expecting players to do. And when you look at the events that are going on right now, probably 80% of the server events are spending related. Like if you go through all these, look, top up additional advanced packaging for top up daily login free. Well, that's an easy one here. Daily account top up free equipment MVP card, cumulative top up gifts, the King's Bounty. Like it's almost all spending related events, and that just sets a certain tone that is only going to get worse. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that it's a black hole of spending that you're just going to keep pouring money into over and over and over again, and ultimately just keep running along the conveyor belt of increasing the number and clearing more stages without really anything to it. Now, the final point, and that's really a follow-up from the pay-to-win aspect, is it just... I know I mentioned at the beginning that it's a Ragnarok IP and that gives it a sense of longevity no matter what happens, but I do feel with this really aggressive pay-to-win, it's going to be a community that ultimately whittles down over time to a small community of spenders and heavy whales, because all the free-to-play are going to just stop playing the game after a certain point, because their experience is going to be categorically worse than a spender who's bought all the packs and is able to do everything they want to a high degree, max out all the rewards, leaderboards, content, Guild War, PvP, regular PvP. I mean, it's going to be very, very hard for anyone who's not absolutely spamming packs to keep up. So ultimately, it's not a, after thinking about it, because it seemed like an interesting enough game. There are some concepts it does really well. I like the idea of an NPC party. That's kind of cool to manage multiple party members and gear them up and stuff. But at the end of the day, the cluttered UI, the just unfriendly approach to progression, the lack of tangible decisions and strategy that I could discern, and the super aggressive pay to win, I mean, for me, this is a pass. I'm personally not going to be playing this game, but let me make an important point here. This is really important. If you like the game, play it. If you like the game, play it. Don't listen to me and say, okay, guess I won't play the game then. If you find it fun, if you find it appealing, just play the game. You shouldn't let my opinion change your opinion. I've simply shared this because a lot of people are asking me, hey, what do you think of this Ragnarok game? Hey, tell me your thoughts. Are you going to play? Are you going to play? What's going on? And so I put this video together to share my thoughts, but that's my personal thoughts. And you might disagree, and if you disagree, I welcome you to disagree, and let me know your thoughts. Maybe I missed something. Maybe I should have played for 3 hours instead of 2 hours, and I would have unlocked something that transformed the game. But ultimately, based on the experience I've had, it's not a game for me. We're going to pass on it, and I'm going to continue playing Go-Go Muffin. I just think, for me at least, it's a superior game experience and something I want to continue playing long term. So there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. If you do play the game, I hope you enjoy it. It's not for me, but you do what you find fun, and don't let anyone else's decisions and choices and perspectives alter your enjoyment of life and gaming. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.